All right, that is the final game of the evening. Dot losing to the Kadeshi. Oh well, the entire panel had it wrong. At least there isn't like a single John Sastro sitting here being smug about his prediction.
I'm pretty sure she was always smug, but
Always smug.
yeah, we all unfortunately made the wrong pick there.
Yeah, Tomcat.
Yeah. All right, so
getting another one.
So we saw the Scorpions. I think it's the first time we've seen an actual Scorpion. We have had a variant of it. We saw Widow, as far as I remember.
Yes, we did. One team has a Scorpion as their flagship. Who do you know who that is?
I can't remember which one it is, but that is true. It's going to be interesting to see if they ever
Some
do
experts
that.
we are. But no, yeah, those were both sort of irregular setups. Seeing the Vigilance and the Blackbirds on the VDOT side, and then seeing those Scorpions was also kind of strange. But apparently they functioned well. I'd love to see the fits on some of those, though, because they were very irregular.
But
yeah, I mean, those corps were unusual, but then I think I at least missed the Rook in there as well, which of course provided probably a lot of early ECM dominance in the game. Both teams fielding ECM, the other team, of course, the VDOT team fielding Blackbirds. They probably got outjammed by that Rook and those Scorpions, though, pretty early on.
So the Scorpions, we've been talking about the point value, and then, I mean, of course, you have a massive ECM boat in the Scorpion. Are they worth it compared to some of the other options we see?
I would have thought not, but then again, if you're fielding Scorpions and perhaps, you know, you're putting some ECCM, some newts, and perhaps some smart bombs in there, which is the typical Goon Test Alliance TQ fit, which is scary to go after, trust me. You know, it can do well, and it certainly worked in this setup. Of course, the Brutixes were probably the main source of damage, which typically we see die very quickly, though. You know, they have a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of EHP, so they die. But in this ECM heavy setup, it seemed to work fairly well for them, and of course, and as an added bonus, the Vigilance on the VI team presented themselves to be mounted upon by the Brutixes by flying straight into them.
Well, I think the Vigilance are an interesting choice there. I'm trying to drag up my knowledge of Vigilance. They actually are handed out in the space I live by the NPC missions. But they have amazing blaster DPS, and I believe they have a web bonus and a micro warp drive bonus. So against a different team, they may have been a very good rush setup, just because they can zip around the field with quite a bit of speed and really slow down anything that tries to get away from them and apply their DPS.
Yeah, one thing that I thought I noticed on the feed, but it's hard to see from the small screen, is that the Proteus looked to be fielding railguns because it wasn't really moving and it was shooting and doing some damage. I believe something died on the Kadeshi side very early on. It'd be interesting to find out if that was actually the case and what was the mix between railguns and blasters, but perhaps I'm completely wrong and the small screen lied to me.
Well, you never know. Just before we sign up, let's go to CCP Sunset and say hi to our commentators.
Hi, I'm CCP Sunset back in the commentary booth. We still have Kill2 and Ravy here. Just wanted to come and say a quick last hello to you guys in the commentary cave, as it's now being affectionately known by Mr. Zastro.
Zastro doesn't get to name everything.
Oh, okay. What would you like to name
it? It's a booth.
It's a booth. Okay, we'll stick with booth. Booth is good. So we have a whole nother weekend of matches coming up next week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, should be really good.
Yeah.
I think Saturday is going to be kind of chill, entertaining at times, and really intense for probably a couple matches, and then Sunday obviously will be fantastic all the way through. So
yeah, it will be great. You're going to have some of the matches on Saturday where the teams don't really care as much, so you're going to see some maybe selling of matches, some interesting metagaming. And you're also going to see the matches that are do or die for the remaining teams.
Yeah, at first I was thinking Saturday was going to be disappointing in a way, that we were going to have a lot of matches that weren't going to matter, but in reality we're going to have kind of a really unusual environment where things are going to be different than usual, even though they won't be worse. So
some of the matches will be, like, again, do or die, like we've seen in previous years. Some of them will be ones where there's more things going on behind the scenes, and that's just a different type of interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, one last dash for glory.
Yeah.
So do you guys have big plans for this week? Are you going to be doing all your research, swatting up, going to the IC website every day, trying to memorize everything, all the stats? What about you, Ravy?
Well, I'll be doing as much as I can to try to help out the PL team, continuing to help out with the practices. There'll be training as always, and the guys are going to be doing a great job with that, I'm sure, and also trying to help out with our spying jobs. But really, I want to see the rest of Iceland. We just got here a couple days before the tournament, and I'm looking forward to being able to see the rest of the country.
What about you, Kiltu? You're probably a great tour guide by now. You could take him around.
I have been here 4 times, and I've
Yep.
never left like the same 8-block radius that the tournament happens in. I'm going to spend most of the week trying to survive my alcoholic teammates' efforts to, cause trouble.
They're not trying to lead you astray, are they?
Michael Bolton is usually.
Why
he's-
doesn't that surprise me?
I don't
That's the
know.
name that came immediately to your lips.
Yeah.
So, lots of big matches next weekend. We haven't seen very many flagships yet. Do you think they're going to play a really significant role next weekend?
I think they'll play a more significant role than they have so far. We've seen, I think, just the 2 of them, Hydra's, which did well, and then the other one, which didn't. I
Not
can't
so
remember which team that
well.
was. You're probably not going to see them become the centerpiece of the tournament, just like last year. The drop in points may have helped them a little bit with some of them, but...
Yeah,
And-
it still seems like battleships never really. I mean, as long as the points have been like this year and last year, battleships have never really been a real important part of the kind of final power setups that make up the last couple matches of the tournament.
Yeah.
So they might show up, but I don't think they're gonna,
CCP definitely put some effort into making them more valuable this year than last year, because last year they were barely used at all, and just about everyone that used them lost in that match. But what they did was they made it so you can actually change up the fittings, get some surprise involved, which I think will help a lot, but probably not enough to make them a real dominant force.
Yeah, there's still not really a lot of ways to surprise people with the Balgorn.
No.
So
But we still want to see him.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
We
as
still
you
want
will.
to
I
see
think
him, and we'll
probably-
take pleasure whether they win or lose.
Mostly lose. We'll take most pleasure when we see them explode, because those are some great kill mails.
They can salvage a flagship, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be quite a good one. So that's about it from us. Just one last big goodbye, I guess, and we'll see everybody next weekend.
Hopefully you'll all
So,
tune in then.
Yep, looking
Yeah.
forward to see you next weekend, and we'll go back to CCP Soundwave in the studio. Bye.
Thank you very much, guys. We'd like to thank all our friends who have been giving us awesome prizes. Some of you have been able to win the NVIDIA graphics card. You've gotten time codes from Shattered Crystal, cool equipment from Logitech. Thank you to all the guests that have come in, Hilmar and all the commentators for joining us this weekend. Check in next weekend. We start at 1500 Eve. It's going to be the Saturday that hammers out exactly which teams are going to go to the finals on Sunday. And then on Sunday, we will have the massive, massive fight for a grotesque amount of ISK. I think the main prize is 120 billion, plus the ship blueprints. And of course, we do have a small release, like maybe the biggest expansion of EVE's history, with the addition of Incarna coming on the 21st of June. And I'd be surprised if next weekend wasn't the best place for information about just that expansion. Anyway, thank you for watching this weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday.